Welcome to another great episode of Passion Unscripted, where we are talking about intimacy, love. How do we learn as women to love ourselves better? And even as the man, right? So, because I love that we always have guys joining us because there is so much to learn for both genders. And the more we talk on these topics, the more insights we are going to receive and the more we actually discover about ourselves, what we like, what we don't like, right? Because we are all so unique. And if that's the first time you're just scrolling, you found us in the feed, welcome. This is Passion Unscripted podcast, where we are here to serve you, to support you, to have fun conversation. Maybe you do not even talk about these topics with your partner. So bring them on because that's exactly what the space is for. And my name is Irina Portnova. I'm all about manifestation and law of attraction. How can we attract the best partner that can check all the boxes? And yes, he can or she can. And I can promise you that because I've worked with the clients, I've seen the results, and that's exactly what I'm helping people to feel expressive, to really stand your standards and truly able to attract what they want. And I'm here with my dear co-host, Dina Alexander. Dina, want
Hi,
to say a couple of
everybody.
words?
Yes, I'm like so fast. Yes, hi everybody. Hi Elena. It's Monday, fun day, and I love it. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I had a couple of days. I was very sick, and I had a sinus infection. But now I feel better. I had it for 2 weeks. The weeks prior, when we started, I had it already, but it became more how we call it, painful.
Mm-hmm.
But thank God now I'm feeling better. I'm almost over it, and hopefully it will go entirely away. So my name is Dina Alexander. I do live on the island of Aruba. I am a life coach, relationship coach, and a sex coach. Why do I do this? Because I do believe that we are human beings and we do need to marry sex with spirituality because we can create with that energy.
I love that. NMD Abu is with us. Hello. Welcome to our
Ah,
space. We love
welcome.
guys. Mm-hmm. Yes, totally. So I just wanted to quickly add before we started to dive into the topic that this week I'm starting my cash flow glow. How can we actually attract cash with ease? Because a lot of times we think that we have to grind, we have to do more, but what if we actually have to relax more and allowing ourselves to be in that joy and flow that attracts clients and attracts money? And if you are interested in that, come be in the space because people manifest an amazing results. I've done it already twice. This is my third challenge. You're going to have fun. You're gonna interact with us and just register yourself. There is a link there, and I'll be happy to welcome you into this beautiful space. But now let's go back to our fun topic because today we are talking about what does it mean when we actually want to be desirable, but what happens when actually that person shows up? Because a lot of times we might want that attention, we might want to feel that chemistry, we want someone who was genuinely interested. And then suddenly, when they appear in our life, what's happening? They are texting, they initiate, they compliment us, they want to spend time with us, they make the interest very clear. And instead of us simply enjoying it, our monkey mind starts going, wait, why do they like me so much? Is this real? What if that I let myself enjoy and then that person disappears? And what am I supposed to do now? Right. So again, we always look in what is missing. And now when the person actually arrives in our life, when our wishes are granted, how do we stay in that space without rejecting something that actually we have desired all this time? So, Gina, I'm going to give you the floor.
You come with these fantastic topics, you know. I love this because
Mm-hmm.
this really happens. It happens with
Mm-hmm.
my ladies. Okay? And this sounds strange, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Why would rejection even feel safer? Why? Because rejection gives you certainty. They don't
Mm-hmm.
want me. Are unavailable. It's not happening. It hurts. But you know where you stand. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we become very skilled at functioning inside that space. We fantasize, we chase, we analyze, we try harder. We wonder what we did wrong. But we remain in control because we are not actually being asked to receive anything. Then someone comes along and say, I like you. I want to spend time with you. I want to know you. I desire you. And instead of relaxing, something inside of you goes, wait a minute, what's happening here? No, there is something to lose. Now you're feeling the feelings matter. Now you can be seen. And that's when vulnerability enters the room. And you know we talk about vulnerability often. And I personally think that's the most um, important um, tool or superpower someone can have,
Mm-hmm.
male or female. Okay, so I'm going to ask you something, Irina. Have
Go
you
ahead.
ever want have you ever wanted someone's attention, and then when you actually received it, you became suspicious? Why are they texting me so much? Why are they being so nice? Why are they interested in me? What do they really want? And sometimes that person hasn't done anything wrong. Have you ever felt that, Irina?
Honestly, you are asking the wrong person. I was always so in that in the receiving mode. Like I was telling you, right? Since my childhood, since I always felt loved, that was something that I truly embraced. So for me, rather than being questioning, I was always in the gratitude. Yeah, that's how I felt.
Yeah, I'm going to share my part, okay? Because I've been a banker for so many years, and as a banker, as a single mom, I had everything in place: my house, my car, my everything in place. So when someone approaches me, and then I was very suspicious. Are they approaching me because I'm a good woman? I have everything in place, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So and I'm very grateful that we are doing this and we are sharing our personal life.
Experiences, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Because it's important for people to feel that, hey, these are women. They aren't only coaches, but they have experiences. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And especially if you are accustomed to relationship where affection has had to be earned, where attention was inconsistent. That was my experience. Okay, yours were differently. Where love came with conditions, where you had to prove your worth. That's also a thing. Okay, then healthy interest can feel almost suspicious if you went through that, because your nervous system may recognize pursuit
Mm-hmm.
more easily than receiving. Yeah. So pay
Yep.
attention to that if you're listening to us at this moment. Not every uncomfortable feeling is intuition, and the majority of women call that fear intuition. And I need to pause here, and I'll ask you to give your opinion, because even we as coaches sometimes we need to say, is this something that I got from a client of mine, or something that happened in the world. And we need to ground ourselves to get back to that space where intuition is our guidance. Okay. So tell me more about that place.
Well, you know what? It's interesting because I was always told that I know clearly what I want, and this is my essence. Like if I set my mind on something, I receive it because I do not attach to the timelines. This is exactly how manifestation works, right? So, whether this is in partnership, whether this is in the success of the business growth, it works the same because it's all the same energy, right? So, the idea is if I know that I'm worthy, and again, of course, there were times in my life where I was losing that, sense, but again, it's not because I would be acting differently. I was still standing in my ground, right? For me, it's like I'm not chasing you. I am not telling you why you have to choose me. I'm actually staying in my ground and I'm just observing, right? Whether the person rises up to the standards or they just step aside. So for me, that was always clear. Um, is it easy? No, not at all. I would never say it's easy. It's tough and it takes a strong person to actually just stand our grounds, right? But the more we do this work, especially like the personal development, the more we realize that rejection is just redirection. And the
Yes.
more you know exactly what you want, the more you're just going to cut away everything what's not matching what you want.
True. True. And you know what? Regretfully, no, no, regretfully, that's not a good word. I'm searching for the good word, but in the meantime, I want to say, not, we all are different. Okay. And what I experience with my clients is that if they all were like you, I wouldn't have any work, any clients.
Yeah, any clients, super sure. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
but the majority doesn't know what they want. Even the majority
Exactly.
doesn't know who they are. So
Mm-hmm.
that is what we have outside there. So
Mm-hmm.
let's bring this into intimacy, Irina. Being desired can feel delicious, but it can also feel incredibly exposing. Because when
Mm-hmm.
someone truly desires you, they are looking at you, they are noticing you, they are responding to you, and suddenly you may become aware of everything you normally hide: your
Mm-hmm.
body, your insecurities, your age, your
Mm-hmm.
scars, your belly, your breasts, your performance, your sexual confidence. And we all have it, even though we are very, um, we have a very high self-esteem, but we all have it. Okay, I'm going to
Totally.
take,
Yeah, I agree.
I'm,
Yeah.
I'm going to take what happened with me 2 weeks ago. My because of the sinus infection, my eyes were red. Okay, now they are pinkish. They are they are healing.
Mm-hmm.
But when I had a client and I felt like the client stared in my eyes too much, because maybe they are pity, have pity for what I'm going through, and that
Mm-hmm.
gave me some feelings. Okay, that I didn't feel for a long while ago. Okay, so I was
Right.
very conscious of my eyes. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
something like that happened to you recently, Irina, that you felt very conscious about yourself?
Yeah, of course. It always happens, right? Maybe even sometimes when my hair is not, like we have our hair day, right? Like sometimes I'm like, okay, I have the same face, the same features in my face, but what happens? The hairstyle actually makes you even more attractive, or not so much, right? So definitely, it was happening to me.
And for me, instead of experiencing pleasure, I start watching myself in a different way. So there's a huge difference if my eyes were
Mm-hmm.
totally okay and when my eyes were red. So
Mm-hmm.
um, I'm going to talk about. You want to add something else, Inia, before I go to another
No, no, no. Let's
area?
continue. I like the topic.
Okay, I'm going to touch. I like this part. It's about receiving is an intimacy skill. It's a skill. You have to work on it. Okay? We are talking about constantly about giving, give love, give affection, give pleasure, give support. But receiving, that's a skill. Okay? And you spoke about that. Okay? Can you receive a compliment without saying, "Oh, stop it"? The majority of us cannot do that. Okay? And I say us because this is a women thing. Okay? Can you receive affection without immediately returning it because you feel in debt?
Mm-hmm.
Can you receive support without thinking I should be able to do this myself? And that's the coach's dilemma.
So true.
Uh-huh. Can you receive pleasure without worrying about how long you're going to take? They're taking. Okay. So I'm going to be very open here because some women they their partner wants to pleasure them, but because they need to go and prepare the meal or they need to sleep early because they have work the next day. And I can continue
Yeah.
all of the things that they need to do. They do not receive that pleasure that their partner wants to give them. Okay? Can you receive support without thinking, Irina?
Totally. Always. You know what
Yes.
my nature is? I'm actually gonna ask you for that support. Just going to wait for it, right? But again, it's like you mentioned, not everybody is the same. But what I wanted to touch upon as you were sharing, so true. It's like a man cannot perform if they are stressed out, if there is something at their job, or if there is something with finances, right? So they cannot perform. The same thing with the woman. If a woman is exhausted because she has to do so many things throughout the day, obviously we are performing the best when we are rested. So I feel this is the invitation to the couple, like how can we make each other better in terms of preparing ourselves when we are rested, when our head is clear, so this way we can actually intentionally enjoy each other.
Yes. Yes. You know, some people are extraordinary givers, precisely because giving allows them to remain in control. That's all what's happening there. Receiving requires something else. Receiving requires surrendering. Surrender. Surrender yourself. Not surrendering your boundaries, not surrendering your voice, surrendering the need to manage every moment. That's what's happening when you decide to receive. Okay? So let me see the time. Do we have time?
Yeah, we still have 10 minutes.
Ah, it have yes. Um, you know, fantasy is safe. In fantasy, you control everything. The person says
Mm-hmm.
exactly what you want. They respond exactly how you imagined it. Nobody misunderstands you. Nobody disappoints you. Nobody sees the part of you that you haven't edited. But real intimacy is messier because
Mm-hmm.
another human being is involved. They have feelings, they have needs, they have boundaries, they have history, they have
Yep.
traumas, they have desires. And once the connection becomes real, you have to stop relating to the fantasies and start meeting that person in front of you. That's why chemistry alone isn't enough. The deeper The deeper questions become, can I stay present when desire turns into intimacy? That's the thing. You need to stay present. Can I
Mhm.
communicate? Some people cannot communicate. They never did. They start shouting. Yes. Can I receive? That was my thing a couple of years ago. Can I trust gradually? Some people cannot trust. Can I remain myself while allowing someone to get closer to me? That is where attraction begins becoming a relationship. Okay? Because it's a it's a journey. It doesn't come everything at the same time. Okay? It starts with chemistry, but it is a journey to get there. Okay. Another thing, if you don't have anything to add on, you have, because I like when you add on stuff.
No, you know what really, like just bubbles in my head for all this time, that I actually stopped waiting for somebody to choose me. I am right now in the position that I am choosing my partner. And it's a completely different game change, right? So again, I'm vulnerable enough to recognize that I am not going to sit and wait for the person to choose me. I am here to make a choice. And I became so clear on that for the past maybe 6 months, that this clarity again, when we are talking about love, intimacy, anything in life, clarity allows us to discern. Clarity allows us to really connect to who we are and start making choices from that, right? And the more we work on ourselves, the more we understand who we are at the essence, that we are not here to please somebody else while we are suffering. That's exactly what you were talking about, Gina, as you were saying, the givers. And we are big givers, because we would never do this work that we are doing right now. We are people, right? We love people. We love to support. We love to help. But at the same token, now it's more and more the awareness of, okay, where am I in all of that, right? So now it's like, okay, put yourself first, because if our needs are not met, we cannot give from the empty cup.
Yes, ma'am. Totally with you. And not, that was that this is the segment where I'm going to enter now. We synchronize so beautifully, and I want to call this segment receiving doesn't mean ignoring red flags.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Now, before somebody hears me saying, just open your heart and trust everybody, absolutely not. Receiving love does not mean abandoning discernment. You you can soften and pay attention. You can enjoy someone's affection and observe whether they're consistent. You can receive desire and remain with your boundaries. Keep your boundaries. You can say, this feels beautiful, while still asking, does this person's behavior match their words?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm talking about, okay? That's mature openness. We don't want walls, because usually the walls go up. We don't want blindness neither. The goal isn't trust everybody. The goal is trust yourself enough to observe clearly. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And and maybe there is another topic, number two, because some people stay at observing, but if you have observed stuff, there is time you need to communicate and
Mm-hmm.
come to agreements and set your standards. Okay, that's another thing. um what I wanted to some You see red flags, and I'm going to challenge the person that is watching us, or listening to us at this moment. You see red flags. Next time something feels good, don't immediately put it on trial. Someone gives you a beautiful compliment, try thank you. As simple as that. Someone gives you affection, feel it. Because if you start in your head, you won't feel it. Okay? You don't have to immediately analyze whether they miss you enough. Someone touches you lovingly, come into your body, breathe, receive. Let the moment be good before demanding that it prove you and your entire future. Because
Mhm.
sometimes we are so busy protecting ourselves from tomorrow's possible disappointment that we completely miss today's real connection. Okay? So, I heard you. Something,
Now, I love everything what you're sharing. And it's again, like when we talk about when being desirable is more vulnerable than feel rejected, is just we have to prepare ourselves, right? For the love that we want to experience. Meaning that we are ready to receive the compliments. We are ready to be treated the way that we always desire. And that's exactly when our nervous system becomes ready for the experience. Otherwise, we are going to reject the very first thing that we wanted to attract in our life, right? And the more we can prepare ourselves, the more we are going to be ready when it arrives.
yes. Before we close, I have three questions to ask yourself if you're watching us, if you're listening to us at this moment. Okay? If receiving love feels difficult, I want you to sit with these three questions. What happens inside me when someone genuinely wants me? Do I relax or do I become suspicious? Ask yourself, do I know how to receive without immediately performing something in return? A compliment, can you receive it? An attention, can you receive it? Affection, pleasure, support, write them down. Okay? And if you want me to or Irina to talk to you about these questions, please contact us. The last question I want you to ask yourself: am I responding to what's happening now or protecting myself from something that happened before? Oof.
Mhm.
That
Great
one may need
question.
a minute. That one may need a minute because the person in front of you should not automatically have to pay the emotional debts of the person who hurt you before them. So
Mhm.
that's becoming mature. Okay? So, Irina, something
So
else.
beautiful. Yes. Just, I wanted to say what a great episode. A lot of reflection to be done, to sit down with yourself and really ask the questions that Dina just asked, right? Because if we start asking these questions, we start understanding ourselves better. So we stop just going through the motion in life and really connect what is important for us. So beautiful, beautiful ending, and super grateful for anybody who is joining us live or who is going to watch the replay. If you're watching replay, please comment replay so we know that you were watching, and also share it with somebody who you know might benefit, because again, the more we understand about ourselves, the more we talk on these topics, the more easy it has become. So when somebody who is really worthy of our time, attention, and love shows up, we are not feeling that we want to reject them because we do not know how to be desirable, but we are actually embrace the moment. We feel that pleasure to experience to be really desirable by somebody, and we can reciprocate as well. All
Yes,
right, Gina. So cool as always. We are having so much fun with these episodes. So for anybody, if you relate to that, let us know. Connect with us. Share this episode with others, and we'll see you on the next episode. And let us know if there is any topic that you would love to for us to cover, and we'll be happy to do that. Thank you. Bye, everyone.